everybody, this tutorial will be showing you how to make a GIF in Adobe Photoshop. To make explaining this process easier, I have created and attached this setup file in the description of this video. If you wish to create your own ad to animate, here are the settings that I used. Once you have your document all set up, the first step is to open up the timeline window by navigating to the top of your screen, selecting Window, and then selecting Timeline. Click Create Video Timeline. You can adjust the height of this window by dragging this area up and down with your mouse. Something you may want to make sure of is that you can see both your timeline window and your whole document. For this video, we will be making use of these areas down here, the timeline and the layers panel. If you click the drop-down arrows on the layers on your left, you can see all of the settings you're able to animate in your GIF. But this tutorial only goes over the opacity and transform and position animation specifically. Here, you have your slider, which allows you to view very specific parts of your video and GIF, and it also aids in lining your layers up with one another and getting very accurate timestamps for bits and pieces of your animation. It also dictates where your keyframes will fall into place. This space is where all of your editing will take place. Each layer down here has a duration to it, which can be adjusted with the handles at the beginning and ends of them like this, just by clicking and dragging them. You can also click and drag a whole layer to move it completely and then adjust the ending time later on. All of the editing you're going to do here is very non-destructive, meaning you can change it at any point in time. You can increase or decrease the zoom on your panel with this feature down here, if you find yourself stuck with a short timeline or a really long timeline. I like to keep mine somewhere in the middle. In this document, you'll see that there are multiple sofa layers as well as multiple new selection layers, which are labeled with their matching colors. There is also a subheadline labeled Limited Time Only, and a call to action button. My vision for this ad is for the sofa and new selection layers to be on screen at the same time with their matching colors. I want the subheadline to fly in from the right, and I want the Shop Now button to smoothly appear into place. Let's start with the sofas, and then the new selection layers. Let's take our black sofa layer and decrease the duration of it from the right. And then let's decrease the duration of our blue sofa layer as well. First from the left and then from the right a bit. Now, we're going to repeat that step for our green sofa, until you have something that looks like this. Click the play button to make sure you like how it looks. You can test your GIF out at any point in time. Next up is decreasing the duration of our new selection layers to match their corresponding sofa layers. You can use the slider to line up your layer ending and starting marks if you need to. Click play to make sure everything lines up correctly. Next, we have our limited time only layer. I'm going to make this start coming in after the black text is disappearing. To animate this part, you're going to drag your layer physically off of the document, but don't go too far. Then you're going to decrease the duration of the layer by dragging the starting handle to the right, lining it up to where the black text layer ends and the blue one starts. Make sure your slider is in the correct spot, and once it's off of the document and your timeline looks like this, click the icon next to transform. And this will add a keyframe telling the software that at this point in time, the limited time only layer will be off of the screen. Drag your slider down past that keyframe and move your limited time only text back onto the document. I find this easiest by getting a little bit of it back onto the screen with the arrow keys and then dragging it into position the rest of the way. As soon as this layer is moved, the software should automatically add another keyframe. If it's not where you want it, just drag it again and adjust your keyframes to be in the right spot. This second keyframe tells the software that the text should be in this position at this point. Feel free to click play to test the timing. Finally, let's select our Shop Now button and drag the starting handle inward to where the limited time only layer is fully into position, which is indicated by this keyframe here. Drag your red slider to the beginning of your button layer and set the opacity to 0% on the right, and then click the opacity key on the left. Then drag your slider down a little bit and then change the opacity back to 100%. And another opacity keyframe should actually automatically be added for you. Keep viewing your GIF until you are happy with it. Here, I have sped up my entire editing process. Once you're happy with your GIF, it's time to export. Go up to File and scroll to Export, and then select Save for Web. Here, you're going to set your preset as GIF 128 dithered and click Save. Then name your GIF appropriately and hit Done. To preview your GIF, select it and hit your spacebar, or alternatively, right-click on the file and open it in Chrome. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning how to create a GIF in Adobe Photoshop.